This morning on Daybreak, City Utilities makes a big repair overnight after a major power outage in Springfield.
And how you can help solve a Pulaski County murder that's been a cold case for 40 years.
Governor Mike Parson discusses crime in Kansas City yesterday as well. We'll see what he had to say and more coming up for you this morning on Daybreak.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday, August 21st. I'm Lauren Barnes.
I'm Joe Morano. Time to get after it bright and early on this middle of the week Wednesday, right?
Yeah, hopefully you're watching from your bed though.
Yeah, hopefully.
Always what I imagine.
Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you had to step outside for pets or anything else, though, it's not as bad waking up as it was yesterday, right?
Felt a lot better. Yeah. Noticeably different than yesterday morning.
Exactly. Yeah. Elisa Rapp is here to tell us that and hopefully tell us about a little bit of a cool down. Maybe.
It's still in the 70s, guys.
It felt better.
Comparatively speaking.
It felt so much better.
Comparatively speaking, yes. It feels better.
Okay.
Because the heat advisories have moved south.
Yeah, so this is for this afternoon. By this afternoon, because what will happen is we'll have showers and storms move in from the north.
Yeah.
So the heat will get a better chance of cooking to the south before those storms come in. But we're still starting out pretty muggy with those temperatures in the 70s this morning.
It doesn't feel as bad. That's the Joe Morano opinion.
Okay.
There you go.
So that heat advisory goes until 8 o'clock today. Again, it's for those southern counties because we'll have those storms move in from the north. We're looking at that heat index up to 105 to 110 degrees today for those areas to the south. So this is where we've got that heat concern today. We've got mostly clear skies in Springfield. It is 72 degrees on south winds and dew points in the middle 60s. Things are mostly clear out there right now. We've got some showers and storms back up in Kansas that we're watching. Those will start to dip southward as we head through this morning. 72 in Springfield right now, 68 in Rolla, 70 at Fort Leonard Wood, and 73 in Monette. We still have some of that uncomfortable feel here on that muggy meter map, but still some oranges and reds. We're looking at storms moving in today, so green light to start on the roads, and then we're looking at some showers and storms by dismissal time and then through that evening commute. So a couple of showers and storms today, 93 will still be pretty hot and humid. Those showers and storms move in. With those storms, we do have an isolated threat of severe weather that we've got a detail for you. Here's that marginal risk. The front winds up stalling through Friday, so we've got to talk about rain totals and another threat of severe weather for tomorrow. Details on that coming up in 10 minutes.
Here's what's making news now. James River Freeway is open after City Utilities made a major repair overnight. CU repaired the lines that were snagged by a piece of equipment on a flatbed truck on James River Freeway yesterday near Campbell. That caused a power outage in the area for about 2 hours and impacted about 1,200 City Utilities customers. The freeway was shut down in both directions between Campbell and Kansas. In fact, Bears on South Campbell tells us that they lost business because of this outage.
We have our normal lunch people that always come in during the day from 10:30 until 12:30. We usually get hit pretty hard just because it's our regular people that always in. So we definitely lost a lot of lunch business that day just because of it.
CU says there could still be some brief power outages as they get everything back to normal as well.
It's your right to know this morning about a cold case in Pulaski County. The sheriff's office is trying to raise money for a new project to help identify a woman killed almost 40 years ago. We've been covering the story of Jane Doe for several years. This is an artist rendering of what she might have looked like. Jane's body was dug up in 2015 for DNA testing. Back in 1981, her body was found on Highway MM north of Dixon, Missouri. Police later determined she had been strangled to death. Her killer, though, was never found. The Sheriff's Department wants to use the DNA Doe Project. The organization uses forensic genealogy to identify the deceased, but the service is expensive, so volunteers are raffling off tickets to win a rifle. If you're interested, call the office. That drawing happens September 10th.
A farming bill that would block counties from making ordinances against big industrial farms has been put on hold. Yesterday, a judge put a temporary restraining order on Senate Bill 391, which has to do with CAFO regulations. That stands for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations, which raise large amounts of hogs, cattle, and chickens. Several organizations, including the Cedar County Commission, have filed a lawsuit against the state saying that it's unconstitutional. The Missouri Rural Crisis Center says that CAFOs are an environmental and economic hazard. Farming industry advocates say that the CAFO bill helps by adopting statewide regulations instead of leaving it up to local government. Stone and Taney County have passed health ordinances to keep CAFOs further away, but it's uncertain if that will work. The bill was supposed to take effect in a week, but the lawsuit has pushed that back to September 16th, awaiting a court hearing.
An investigation is underway as to why a student brought a gun to Kickapoo High School. Someone tipped off authorities and the male student was brought in, and school police say he had an unloaded gun in his backpack with no ammunition. School leaders alerted parents, saying no students were harmed. It's unclear what discipline the student faces.
Some political coverage for you now. Senator Josh Hawley has spent his recent time off in the Ozarks. Yesterday, stopping in Collins to speak with a family running a local grocery store for 60 years. Then went to Smith's Restaurant in St. Clair County as well. Over in Douglas County, he met with a local cattle farmer battling cancer, discussing the struggles of getting treatment with limited health care options. And in Ava, he met with the owner of True Brew, where some of the proceeds from there go help the needy in the community. And his last stop was in Gainesville, where he spoke to business owners and a pastor who's working to support young people in the community and break the cycles of poverty and addiction. Now that students are back in school, one official is calling on the governor to get armed officers in schools sooner.
State Auditor Nicole Galloway requested Governor Mike Parson call a special session to follow through with recommendations from a school safety task force.
The force, led by Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, released a report last month that recommended all schools have that resource officer because right now about 60% of Missouri schools have them. So one problem is how to fund getting more officers in schools, and Galloway says she has a solution.
Instead of local schools or law enforcement footing the bill for training officers, Galloway says there's enough state funding that could be redirected.
That also means there would be no tax increase for the public. There's no response yet from Governor Parson.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson, though, has been in Kansas City touting a violent crime operation that resulted in hundreds of arrests across the metro area. From May to August, there were 355 arrests. Authorities also seized 69 guns, more than 2,000 rounds of ammunition, and more than 4 kilos of drugs. The governor wants to send a message that reducing violent crime is the top priority on all levels of government.
Offenders in the metropolitan.
We've had violent crime before, but we've had way too many kids, that haven't even made it to their 10th birthdays, getting shot on the streets for just playing on a sidewalk. And that's totally unacceptable, and we got to figure out solutions. So that means make changes. We got to make changes.
When asked if lax gun laws play a role in the violent crime, the governor said he supports the Second Amendment for law-abiding citizens.
Moving around the region now this morning, in Arkansas, 53-year-old Dr. Robert Morris Levy was booked into the Washington County Jail on Saturday and indicted for wire fraud, mail fraud, making false statements, and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
The indictment says Dr. Levy entered incorrect and misleading diagnoses he knew to be false for 3 patients, causing their deaths. And on 2 occasions said a second pathologist checked his work but agreed with him when in reality he did not.
The documents say back in 2016 he appeared to be intoxicated while on duty, and a drug and alcohol test revealed his BAC was .396. That's when the Fayetteville VA suspended his practice of medicine and started a 3-month inpatient treatment program. He entered into a contract with Mississippi Medical Board to return to practice. The indictment alleges that on 12 occasions he used a chemical substance that is not meant for human consumption and can actually be lethal to achieve a state of intoxication, and it's not detectable through drug tests.
The 2M2B that he used was, again, a substance, not a drug, a substance, allowed him to receive the feeling of intoxication, but it would not show up on any type of urinalysis test. So again, part of the scheme was his concealment of this by using that specific substance in order to mask the results of the test.
U.S. Attorney Dak Keys tells us Levy returned to Arkansas about a week ago after being out of the country. He was possibly teaching at a medical school. With all 31 counts, Levy faces up to 524 years in jail and a fine of $7.75 million.
Just getting started this morning for you. Up next, a toy company is working to stop using plastic.
Plus, McDonald's has a pay it forward promotion for free coffee. That's explained up next in your Money Watch.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.